Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. I'm joined with Mordz for today's afternoon show. We've got injury updates on Martinez, Shaw, Luke Shaw? Yeah, Luke Shaw. I said Shaw and I nearly got mixed up with Mordz then. We might have an injury update on you as well.
Maybe.
And then we also have an injury update on Lisandro Martinez. Also, really interesting news about the clubs voting against banning sister club from loaning or buying players, which could affect Manchester United in the January market with Todibo or even Thuram from Nice. Now that Sir Jim's through the door and going to have 25%. And we've also got another few fun things that we're going to bring into the show as well. So welcome everyone to the afternoon show. But Mordz, it's been a while since you've been on. Like, how are you and stuff?
No, I feel good. I literally said it before we started. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like this is like a nice little base where we can have a little United therapy. I feel like I've not had United therapy in a while. Like, you need to speak a little bit about United to get out your system. So I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm happy to have you back. It's been like lonely in the studio this week because it's been international break. There's not really been much on, but we are going to actually speak a little bit about the players' international breaks, like Pellistri again for Uruguay starting, getting another assist. More game time potentially needed. But
I mean, I'm happy that, but when I see United players do well internationally, I get a good feeling because I think they're going to come back and repeat that form and maybe continue it and bring it to United. But I feel like recently it's just not been the same. Like they go to, for example, look at Rashford. I was hoping so much to go out and he would score. I really wanted to score again for England, but he had in my opinion, he had a terrible game. I think he had a really bad game, and for England as well, we're kind of blessed because we get to play teams that are ranked a lot lower than us, and it's like, cool, like this is your chance to go out there and have a bit of freedom, try some new things, maybe get your confidence back up. And it just didn't work out.
Well, I mean, we also have Gareth Southgate as manager, which is depressing for anyone.
Very depressing. Very depressing.
I mean, that's football. But we'll start off on the injury update. So Onana is fit for the Everton game.
Thank you.
Some people will be really happy about that, like me and you. Some people maybe not. Who knows? I know it's one where people aren't completely sold on him yet, but he is fit for the Everton game, which I think is really important. And also, this is the news that is literally a godsend right now for us, and we've needed this. Luke Shaw is back in first team training.
I want a round of applause. I want to give him a round of applause. To the physical, the what do they call it? The nutritionist, the medical department.
It's early as well.
Okay.
I think it's early for him to be back. I don't think he was meant to be back till December. So
fair enough.
The fact that he's back in first team training, I very highly doubt he'll be involved at Everton. But then Galatasaray maybe off the bench, and then Newcastle where you might see him start. They
are big games, to be fair. Like, they're the kind of games you'd kind of want Luke Shaw to come back in. Like, it brings a bit of morale into the team. I feel like when a player comes back from injury, it's kind of like when Wan-Bissaka came in. His first game, he played very well, and it kind of boosted the team. I thought, in my opinion, it kind of gave a little boost to the team. So hopefully he is back for them bigger games. Everton, in my opinion, isn't a big game. Maybe that's offensive to some people, but
it is a big game, Mark.
I don't think Everton's a big game. It shouldn't be. It should not be a big game.
It shouldn't be, but for the way that we have played, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if we went there and didn't get a result. I'm worried about it. I think people are really.
I'm optimistic.
Because it's been the international break, people have forgot. It's like, you know when you say like when women give birth, they forget. Like, because it's like traumatized. People forgot the fact that United have not been playing well. Sean Dyche is good at shutting up shop, especially at Goodison Park.
That is fair enough, but I mean, I'm sorry we're touching on it a bit, but the points deduction, in my opinion, that's a morale decrease. I think that kind of there's no way it hasn't put some kind of mood, sadness or moodiness in the club in itself. I mean, I think they were like 13th, 14th before the points deduction, and now they're like pretty much bottom of the league almost. And obviously they're going to repeal it, and maybe they might come get the points back. But I think that the fact that they are so low in the league right now, they're 19th, is kind of like.
But they have to fight even harder.
I feel that happens later on in the season. I don't know. I just don't think United and Everton should be seen as, wow, like this is a game changer, like a season changing game. Like, we should be rolling over Everton, in my opinion.
We should be.
We should be rolling over Everton, and I hope we do, in my opinion.
We should be, but whether we do
is another question.
Because I don't see us rolling over anybody right now. But I mean, I thought we could have in Copenhagen with them. That happened. But anyway, speaking of, I mean, we'll speak about the Everton game in a second. But Shaw will be in the squad. maybe, but I think it'll be a little bit before he actually starts a game for us. But Onana is definitely fit, and hopefully it should play.
Yeah.
And then an update on Lisandro Martinez. It was going round that Lisandro Martinez was returning to training on grass. That's what I think Sky reported it, but I think it was a little bit of a miscommunication, because from a source close to the club, they said that the United stand understands that Lisandro Martinez has not returned to training yet. Today he was only out but watching the main group at Carrington. So maybe they got confused because he was there. They thought he was training, but he isn't training yet. He's still injured, which is sad.
I mean, I didn't expect him to come back till like at least January anyway. So, but Luke Shaw, that is the one player that I've been waiting for him to come back, because, in my opinion, our centre backs, we've rotated them a lot anyway. And to be fair to Maguire and Evans, they haven't put in a bad shift. So I can't really say, you know what, Martinez is going to completely change the centre back pairing, because they haven't actually done a bad job, in my opinion. But that left-hand side, that left-back position has been, in my opinion, it's been terrible. We've had Lindelof playing there, he should never be playing left-back anyway. Yeah. And we had Amrabat, who's completely out of position. He did do an all-right job first, maybe a couple of games. Same with Reguilon, first couple of games did an all-right job. But again, that's not two left-backs. That's not two players that I want to be playing, either starting at left-back or starting anyway for Reguilon, in my opinion. But for Luke Shaw, natural position, he can also play centre-back, and it's that link-up with Rashford that I want to see the most anyway, because I feel like that's what's kind of holding Rashford back a little bit, being able to have that player that overlaps, drags the defender away, that can also put in crosses when Rashford maybe isn't having the best game. You can have a player there that can facilitate Højlund or whoever's in the middle. So that's a player that I'm really, really looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, I think everyone in the right mind should be absolutely buzzing about Luke Shaw coming back. Like, it's absolutely massive. Anthony Murray said, Beth, have you got the violin that you had this morning? No, I've put that away. I've put that away. People who are on the morning show, would know. But you're talking about Luke Shaw there, and I think Luke Shaw, from some people, he's so disrespected, but he genuinely is. I think he gets into near enough every team in the league. Like, he's I honestly do. I think he's that good. People are going to come to me for that, but I'd have him over Robertson. I would.
Okay.
I honestly would. I think he's technically gifted. I think going forwards, he's got great power. I think he can drive through the midfield well. Yeah. I think he's great defensively. The only game that he's a bit off is, I don't know why, against Saka sometimes he's a little bit...
That's a tough competition, maybe because of friends.
He stands off a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But I think Luke Shaw's excellent. Obviously injuries hold him back a little bit, and I think he speaks well as well to the media when after games where we have had some bad results before, but I really do like him. I was saying, for me, he's that important that I was debating, would I play him at left-sided centre-back, because I thought he was top class when he played there in some really important games for us, or would I play him at left-back? But like you said, the defence has actually been doing pretty well. Yeah. Is in the centre-back pairings have been doing pretty well. So I think I would move into left-back because of our crisis there, and how much he is needed, like you said, with Rashford. And also, how bad have we been through moving the ball through midfield? Yeah. Luke Shaw often steps into that role and becomes inverted a lot of the time. Yeah,
like you said, I think it's the fact that he can go both ways. He is actually, for some reason, I've seen a couple of people try and criticise him on his defensive attributes, and I actually think he's one of the better left backs in the league when it comes to being able to defend like one-on-one. Mm-hmm. We're kind of blessed on the right-hand side that we have Wan-Bissaka, and he's, in my opinion, the best one-on-one defender in the league. So on that left-hand side, we kind of need someone as well that can kind of maybe might not be able to match Wan-Bissaka's ability, but he can at least hold his own and going forward and backwards. And we've seen the way how Ten Hag has been playing this season with the inverted fullbacks, and we've seen Dalot pretty much playing almost as like a 10 sometimes. And you know, when Amrabat was playing left back, he was playing in midfield a lot. So I'm curious to see how, you know, Luke Shaw is going to be utilised. Maybe it might be a bit different to how he was last time. He might be pushed more into the middle. And like you said, him playing centre-back as well. Maybe when everybody's fit and we're a bit more comfortable, then maybe we can try Luke Shaw in centre-back and see how that works. But yeah, it's good to see him back.
Yeah, and also you have the option of Varane and Shaw, which was really good together. Yeah. Lindelof, I think, played with Shaw and was great with him. So you have the option. Shaw's just good with everyone.
Yeah.
We obviously really.
And having a left-sided centre-back helps a lot, especially when you want to move forward and you want to have plays that are a bit more progressive. But we had Martinez. obviously not
Johnny
like
Evans
now.
has done decently well there, to be fair.
He has, but I just don't see him.
But he's injured.
Yeah,
at the moment as well.
yeah, he's injured, to be fair, as well. So.
But yeah, everyone get in the comments where you would play Luke Shaw. Actually, let's get a poll going with the community. So let's get a poll on, would you play Luke Shaw as left-sided centre-back or left-back when he comes back into this team, which hopefully should be quite soon. So that's a good little boost for us.
Yeah.
While we get that poll going, see what people say, I've got something to bring into the show. So, earlier today, it was brought out that 8 clubs blocked a ban on signing players from sister clubs. And these 8 clubs, funnily enough, were Newcastle, shock horror, Sheffield United, which I thought was a weird one, Man City, shock. Chelsea, shock, Everton, Wolves, Forest and Burnley. So they were the teams that voted against it. Manchester United actually voted for the block, which I thought was weird, especially with Sir Jim coming in and that Nice connection. I don't know how deep that goes. I'd have to look more into it around in how much does it affect it if he only owns 25% of the club. But this works in a positive way for United in some aspects, in the sense of Todibo and Thuram, so the midfielder Thuram and the defender Todibo, who have both been looked at by United, particularly more Todibo, and 2 good players coming up in the French league for Nice, leaves them open to a possible move to Man United. Yeah,
I mean, just to clarify, that is just for loans, right?
It's for loans and sales.
Just loans and sales. So, yeah, so I think we spoke about this before on a show. That, in my opinion, Todibo is one of the most perfect signings that we can get for United, because I like Varane, but in my opinion, he should be slowly being moved out of the squad. Just because he slowly fades out of the squad. He is still very good, and I'm not trying to say that he's finished or anything like that. No, he is still a very good defender, but it's just the injuries and the consistency. For a team that's trying to actually restructure and build up a squad for the future, we need to start bringing in younger players. I think he's like, 22, 23, very young. 23, and you know, the way how he plays, it complements Martinez. In my opinion, I think it will complement Martinez. And like I said, he's progressive. I think that signing there works very well with what Ten Hag wants to play anyway. And I mean, when it comes to the vote, I mean, I was saying this before, I don't know if the people who voted had any connection to Sir Jim anyway. So they might not have been thinking, oh, but when Sir Jim comes in, he's going to have this connection and da-da-da-da. I think that's kind of like a United fan kind of mentality. Like, we're thinking for the future, whereas if the people in United are probably thinking, there is no sister clubs that we can't really care about anyway. And it heavily benefits the teams like Newcastle, Man City. It heavily benefits them because they've got so many sister clubs anyway, especially the Saudi Arabian clubs, because a lot of the owners own a few of those clubs. So I kind of understand. Here,
apparently Sheffield United is Saudi owned.
Are they Saudi owned as well?
I've just seen it on Twitter, maybe.
I didn't know that. So yeah, I guess a lot of the Saudi owned clubs, they are going to be a lot more in favour, because a lot of the top players are going over to Saudi anyway, so they can get have that access to those players. Whereas United, right now we don't really have that kind of crazy access. So I kind of understand why we didn't vote for it. But yeah.
And obviously you have Man City with the City Group as well.
Yeah, they've got a lot. They've got like 7 or 8 that they could possibly go from us, and they've got clubs in MLS as well. So I definitely understand why they voted for it. Exactly,
and I think, I mean, for me personally, it's not anything I'm really bothered about either way. The only way I would become bothered is if, for example, if Newcastle got Ruben Neves in on loan, which was suggested, I think that would be an absolute disgrace, because it's obvious what's being done there. It is a complete loophole around financial fair play.
I feel like that is literally football nowadays anyway. I think that's been football for the past 10 years.
He's got the best lawyers.
Literally.
Business plans,
really. I mean, that's the whole reason why, I mean, I don't want to go into the total breaches thing, it's all alleged anyway, but that's pretty much the way how most of these big football clubs have been operating the past 10 years. Finding the best ways to get around spending all the money that you have. Look at Chelsea. How else can you spend £1 billion in a year? By finding ways around the book. So I kind of understand it, to be fair. And if it was my club and we were getting around it, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I really do want us to go and get Todibo though. Massively. I think we will get him.
Yeah, same.
I think it'll be like 35, maybe 40 mil. Which
I mean, United have always got that little 20% tax.
I know, but with Sir Jim's connection.
True.
Who knows?
Who knows, yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see on that, but I would love to get Todibo, and I've actually been looking at him quite in depth. I've been looking at him for so long because we've been linked to him for so long. But I think him and Martinez together, maybe airily, is the only probable weakness, but as a combative, aggressive, ball-playing centre-back pairing, it'd be I think top quality. So I'm excited. Hopefully we'll be able to get him in.
Yeah, I've got confidence.
Mordz, let's move on to a little bit about obviously looking towards the weekend as well. And like we said, the international break.
Yeah.
I've talked about Pellistri a lot now.
Yeah.
He has started for Uruguay in all of the qualifiers in the Euros. They won 2-0 against Brazil. They won 2-0 against Argentina. They won against Bolivia 1-0 yesterday, and he got an assist.
Yeah, saw that.
Like, he's doing well.
He is doing well, and my thing is that, one, I don't want to put a downer on it, but he doesn't have a lot of competition in the position, I'll be honest. I've kind of seen Uruguay a little bit to see who their starting team is, and most people only know Uruguay for Suarez, and I don't want to make this personal, but I'm Ghanaian, so me and Uruguay don't have a good collection anyway, but looking at who Pellistri has in his position, he kind of is the best player to kind of play there. But in his defence, he is putting in a shift. And it's kind of unfortunate for someone like Garnacho, whereas he's going to have to compete with an Alvarez or a Di Maria. Obviously, they've got Messi in the team, plays on the right. But when you've got less competition, you kind of have that more freedom to kind of do, not what you want, but to play better, because you know you're not really in that much competition for your spot. And I don't even know Garnacho even played for Argentina yesterday. I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
By the way, sorry, Uruguay won 3-0 yesterday, not 1-0. It was 3-0.
Yeah, it was 3-0. He got an assist, yeah.
And he did really well. Somebody said to me, so us getting Todibo is okay, but Neves to Newcastle is a disgrace. Hang on a second. Right, I get where you're going with that. Say if we got Todibo on like a free transfer when he's still in contract, obviously that'd be dodgy. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Whereas Neves is literally gone and took a huge pay increase.
Yeah.
They paid a good transfer fee for him from Wolves. He goes there, and then Newcastle get him on loan. Like, that is dodgy. It's like Nice paying a load of money for a player that we wanted.
Yeah.
And then us getting him on loan, like, that is different circumstances.
Yeah, no, I agree, but
it just depends whether this rule is abused or not.
I think every football fan kind of thinks the same thing. If it's your club, you don't really care, because you kind of just want the best for your club. But when it's other clubs, you don't like it, and that's the reality of it. So I wouldn't. If Neves went to Newcastle. I think they've got, is it this Newcastle that's trying to get him? Newcastle. I think because they've got that massive ban on Tonali as well, they're kind of looking for someone right now, and they're trying to find the best way to get the best players. So again, if I was a Newcastle fan, I would really not complain. But yeah. Yeah,
it's an interesting one. Apparently, I said Euro qualifiers as well. I meant World Cup qualifiers. I do know that Uruguay isn't a European country, everyone. I may be blonde, but I'm not that blonde. Just spoke a little bit there. But anyway, Martial. He's going to be coming in because Højlund and Eriksen both weren't pictured in training, so they are both injured. Well, we know Eriksen's going to be out for probably about 3 weeks. We don't know on Højlund where he's at, but we're hoping it's going to be soon. So we're assuming Martial's going to start. Mordz and the chat. Martial's record against Everton, 8 goals, 4 assists in 16 appearances. So that's 12 goal contributions in 16 appearances for Everton. We all remember in the Cup when he scored that goal to take us through. He is got a good record against Everton. Are you trusting of him coming in to the team?
Trusting? I've not been trusted of Martial for a while. I think he is similar to Højlund, and I think usually whenever they get swapped, it's usually like for like anyway, so they're kind of doing the same thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm in two minds with Martial, I'll be honest. It's like sometimes I just think, Martial can just do anything. He can. I remember last season where we played. It was a Europa League game against Sevilla where we drew at home, and Martial was amazing. And I thought, you know what, he's back. Martial's back, play him every game, he's going to score 100 goals a season, and after that he was terrible.
Technically, he is one of our better players when he's on it, but it's just...
When he's on it.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time, when you have to say about a player, or on their day, or when they're fit, that's how you know a player's not good, because you don't usually say that about the better players. You don't usually have to say on their day, because you know that they're going to be on a day most of the time. And Martial is like, he could play 90 minutes and not do anything.
Will you say that about Rashford?
100% say that about Rashford. I think he's definitely, for this season anyway, he's definitely on his day kind of player. And his day has not been any day this season. So that's one of, I'm not even, Rashford, for now, going forward into the season, I don't really have that much confidence.
What would your front three be against Everton then?
Again, I'm not really that. I'm a bit optimistic for Everton, so I'd actually play a Palestri over Anthony.
I would too.
I'd play, obviously Martial's kind of the only striker we've got, so you kind of have to play. And on the left, Rashford was poor against England, he's been poor. I'd still start Rashford, just because.
I knew you would.
I'd still start Rashford.
You low-key love him, even though
I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's a Manchester-born, he's a youth player. I just kind of like the guys who came through the academy. I don't know, there's a soft spot in my heart for Rashford. Maybe he's not playing well though. I'm an avid, you know, for me, if a player's not playing well, bring them off. I'm not a guy that's like, you know, let's play him 90 minutes and hope that he does well in the 90th minute. No, like, if he's not playing well, even if it's half time, bring him off. Let somebody else, let Garnacho have a good 45-minute run at their defenders. So I would still start Rashford. Hopefully he plays well. If not, take him off.
And who would you bring in instead of Eriksen in midfield?
That's another good question. I mean, the whole Mount situation is just, again, I spoke about it on the fan forum, and it still doesn't make sense. It's kind of like Ten Hag doesn't even want him anymore. It's like he just brought him in, or the club brought him in for other purposes. Mount should be able to do that role. He does usually play higher up in the pitch, and I think Everton's best attribute is their midfield anyway. So I think that's where the battle is going to really be. So we kind of need confident players in midfield, players who can be able to take control of the game, dictate the pace of the game, and that's where I think we're going to win. So over Eriksen, I would put Mount in there. Bruno, obviously Casemiro's injured as well, so I guess an Amrabat or a McTominay. I don't know. It's going to be.
I think it will end up being Amrabat, McTominay, and Bruno, which to me is just not exciting.
It's just boring. Like
it's what you have to do. I think you can't go into it Goodison Park away with Bruno and Mount. Yeah, like I just don't think
you should be able to. You know,
in the current moment we're in, though, I think it's a bit much.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, we should be able to, like you said. Someone made a point as well that Rashford and Martial do sometimes play quite well together, so that could be another influence if Martial's playing up front.
Could be, on their day.
But, guys, we have a fun little game to end the show on, which, to be honest, will probably take a little bit of time, so don't go anywhere yet. Do not go anywhere yet. But we've got a game. Victor Lindelof recently did an interview with Man United where he got asked to make his perfect Manchester United player through different attributes. Yeah. And he picked some interesting shouts. Okay. And if you want to know Victor Lindelof's, you can go and look it up. But we're going to do ours. Yeah. So, Mordz, I'll let you go first. Actually, no, we'll do one row at a time together. Yeah. So, who have you gone for right foot? And get involved in the chat as well. Okay,
so for my right foot, I've gone for. I really want to change this. I was seriously thinking about who can I pick other than this guy, but I just had to pick Bruno. Yeah. I had to keep it as Bruno. I just think it's not necessarily the fact that he does a lot. I think it's the ability that he has with his right foot. I don't think a lot of players in the team has the ability. For example, you look at the Burnley goal, that was with his right foot, right? I'm pretty sure it was. I don't think many of the players in that team can do that. I don't think they can have the composure to be able to catch it first time and put it into the corner. So Bruno for me, yeah. I'll put Bruno as my right foot. What about you?
I obviously went with Bruno. Like, Vince Lindelof went with Bruno as well. I went with Bruno for all of the reasons that you just said. I think he's just got magic on that foot sometimes, and well, not sometimes, a lot of the time. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't quite work out, but even some of the balls he manages to put free to, like, on the counter-attack, he's unreal on that foot a lot of the time, so I went with him. Yeah. Quick super chat in from John Wayne Gacy saying, Rash up top, Garnacho left, Anthony right, he will pick. If he doesn't pick Martial, honestly, he can't pick Rashford up front. It's just he just can't.
I would say though, before Rashford did get the red card against Copenhagen, he wasn't actually playing too bad on the right in Champions League.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him on the right, but not up front.
Not up front. I would not put him up front. I've seen him up front a lot of times. It wasn't great, but on the right, that is something that I would be open to seeing a bit more. Just because, like I said, before he got the red card, he wasn't actually playing too bad. So.
A lot of people said Casemiro for right foot. No, I'd still go Bruno. But to be fair, he's got a decent finish on him, but I'd still go Bruno. And someone should have said Anthony for right. Well, yeah, no. Anyway, left foot. Who have you gone with for left foot?
Yeah, so I was picking between two people. I was heavily thinking Shaw, but I had to pick Martinez.
Interesting. Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is that Anthony's known for literally cutting in on his left and being predominantly left-footed, and we bought him for nearly 90 mil. And you debating between two defenders instead of him, and that's exactly the position I was in. I went with Shaw.
Okay.
Just purely because of his finishing technique and his crossing ability.
Okay, yeah.
Martinez, I get.
I picked Martinez because I feel like with Shaw, his like you said, his crossing is. I definitely agree. I think he's a very good crosser, but I think the types of passes that I've seen Martinez make with his left foot, it's a lot more difficult. I feel like he threads the ball a lot better through the midfield, and like I said, it's what he has to do with his left foot, which is why I put him above Shaw. And on the Anthony thing, I just. It's like more times than not he misses. So it's like I can't like rate him for that. When he scores, it's great, and I'm appreciative.
I swear he's done it like twice.
Yeah, it's like he misses like 90% of the time. So I don't know. It's not that impressive to me.
No. Okay, I've gone with Shaw. You've gone with Martinez. So that's the first difference, right? Okay, the next one. Yeah, someone, the chat's just sending me under a little bit. I read someone's name out. Apparently it's a serial killer's name. I'm sorry, I'm not well up on my serial killers.
Wow.
So yeah, I didn't know that. Someone had it and did a super chat in it. So yeah, whatever.
They got you.
And yeah, the chat is getting me a lot recently. So next up, we have heading. Who'd you go for?
Maguire.
Yeah, I went with Maguire too.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Let me not be mean.
Absolute creme de la creme.
Yeah, that's like his main. Actually, that's the only attribute where I can say, you know what, no one can actually chat to Maguire about his heading. That's one thing that he can stand up with his head high and say, I'm better than everybody else. I think that's one of the only reasons why he's in the England team. I think it's because of his heading ability. So, yeah, definitely put Maguire number one.
We should get a few more on target towards our goal.
Yeah, true. But he has. I don't think he's. I'm sure if there was a stat to say who scored the most headed goals for United, it would be Maguire.
Someone said Casemiro. If you look at his scoring,
yeah,
he's scored a few headers, Casemiro. So that's a really good shot.
Maguire's just. I don't know. He's actually very good, so I have to rate him for that.
Yeah, I'd still go with Harry Maguire. Yeah. So next up was pace.
Pace. Again, I was going between two players. One of them I haven't seen a lot of, and that was Højlund, but I do think Højlund is very much up there. But I put Rashford just because I think he's one of the fastest players in the league. I don't know. Maybe there's a stat that says it. Someone Google it, but I think he's one of the fastest players in the league, so I got to put Rashford.
See, I used to think Rashford was absolutely lightning quick. I think he's lost a bit of pace. Do you?
I don't think so.
I've seen him get beat a few times this season.
By who though? It depends on who he's getting. By Kyle Walker, cool. Like you can't really complain about that. Who did you put instead then?
Oh, I still put Rashford.
Oh.
I still put Rashford, but I really wanted to go with Højlund, but I need to see a bit more.
That's what I was saying.
Højlund looks quick.
That's what I mean. He looks very quick. So I need to see. If I saw a bit more and I seen him go up against certain players, because I've seen Rashford go up against certain players, I'm like, wow, he's absolutely burned them. That's why I thought, you know what, he has to be number one. Højlund hasn't gone up against everyone yet for me to say, you know, I've seen him completely burn certain players where I think they'd be able to compete. Like I saw Rashford go up against Davis, and I was like, oh, he's not actually too far off. And Davis is like one of the fastest players in the world.
This is interesting. Someone said Rashford hasn't gone slow, he's just gone lazy.
That's a good shout, to be fair. But yeah, I read something as well that Dalot's actually very, very quick as well. So, I mean, maybe that I'll have to Google it or something. But yeah, Dalot will probably be like top 3, top 4 in my opinion.
Højlund said very quick with the ball. Højlund is very quick with the ball at his feet, said Vicky. Yeah, with the ball at his feet. Well, we saw it with that goal against Galatasaray. Yeah. Then Adrian said Lamptey cooked Rashford. He did. Right, okay. The next one's obvious. Tackling. We've both gone with Wan-Bissaka, haven't we?
Yeah, that's not even a conversation.
It's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like Wan-Bissaka's, for me, like you said, probably best one-on-one defender in the world.
He is the best one-on-one defender in the world. I've seen him take on Mbappe and Mbappe lost. I've seen him take on Sterling and Sterling lost. Like, there's certain players where I'd think they cook anyone, and I didn't see them cook Wan-Bissaka. I don't think anyone can have. I did a video about this. I've never seen anyone have a field day against Wan-Bissaka where they can say, you know what?
Ever.
I can say, you know what? I put him on the floor 10 times. No one said that. So to me, we're so lucky to have him on the team. I'm not gonna lie, so lucky.
Yeah, I think he could generally go anyone.
Anyone, yeah.
And this is the thing about Wan-Bissaka. Even though I don't think he's good enough to be starting right back for United. No, not overall. But I don't think we have anyone who is. I don't think they'll. But he's good to have in your armour, because if somebody said to me, like, you know, we're playing Real Madrid tomorrow, right now, I want Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, facts.
Like, because of, you know, of the way he can defend 1v1 against these wingers. But realistically, there's a reason he's not picked for England, and I don't rate Southgate at all. But he's not got his overall.
I think the reason he's not picked for England's competition is crazy.
That's what
Reece
I'm
James
saying.
is world class
We
defender.
want someone who's like top class.
Yeah, no, you're
but
right.
I do like Wan-Bissaka. In 1v1, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Next up is finishing.
I put Højlund.
Okay, you put Højlund. I put Højlund too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, first. Yeah, no, I think he's. I was thinking like, who do I actually see put away the ball a lot? Yeah, I don't think there's. I don't think there's a lot of players that I can actually put in this conversation because Martial, as good as he is, I do think he misses a lot of chances.
No, he does, and a lot of his shots have not got any power on him.
Yeah. So he was one of the ones where I was like, you know what, he's out of the conversation.
Oh, Scott McTominay, someone said. That's a good one.
Yeah, this season, like for a few games, but to put him over Højlund's crazy. I think Højlund's composure in the box is like, you'd think he was like a 29-year-old player, he'd playing like it for 10, 15 years. I remember that against, might have been Galatasaray, one of the Champions League games, where he's got the ball in the box, he's taken a touch, he's taken it past one player, and he's shot with his left foot and it's gone in. I think got ruled offside, but the fact that he had that composure in the box and managed to finish it on his weaker foot, that's like a senior like player kind of, that confidence that he has. So for me, he's the best in our team.
Do you know what as well, what I liked against Galatasaray, my dad's always said to me this, he said, you can tell how technically good a player is, especially when it comes to finishing, if they've got a dink on them under pressure. Yeah. And he dinked it over him. Yeah. And Rashford wouldn't have done that. Yeah, he would have. Martial would have maybe, I think. Martial's got a dink in him. Son would have definitely. Son's absolutely top notch at it. Yeah. But Højlund had it, and at that age, I honestly would put him. I think Lindelof put Rashford. I definitely wouldn't put Rashford. He misses so many chances. No,
Rashford just knows how to. It's just knuckleballs every time. That's all he knows.
So I'm happy to go with Højlund on that. Okay. Yeah. Right, okay, I'm not answering that super chat from Matt Coatbridge, but anyway, next up is strength. Strength, who have you gone with?
Again, there was two people I was thinking of. I've actually picked one. I've got two names here. I'm going to say Casemiro.
I went with Cassie too.
Yeah, Casemiro.
I was close to going with Martinez because I think he's strong, but I don't think he's tall enough to really.
I was close to going with Maguire.
Really?
Yeah, I think Maguire. I've never really seen Maguire get shrugged off the ball.
Okay, fair enough.
And I think he's good at like holding off the ball, shielding it. I think that's one of his better attributes. His negative attributes is when he has to actually play football. That's when I think Maguire gets under pressure. But when it comes to strength and physicality, I don't really see many people getting a better over him, in my opinion.
That's fair. But we still both gone with Cassie.
Yeah.
Casemiro is super strong. Maybe sometimes a little bit too much.
Strong, yeah.
But yeah, I rate that choice. Next up, we have skills. Skills.
Again, I can't lie. I just put two names for every single one. I'm gonna go with Rashford. What are you gonna say?
I said Martial.
There's no way. There's no Martial over Rashford. Actually, now I think about it.
When it comes with the ball and being able to move around players, and I mean Rashford can beat a man better than what I'd say with pace. Okay. But I wouldn't say that's necessarily skill.
Skill, I think Rashford.
I think Rashford has got good skill, but I think Martial's skill on the ball is better. His close control is better.
No, you are right. You are right in that sense. I just feel like, for me, when I thought of skill, I just thought of skills, like doing skills. Okay. And I just thought, I've seen Rashford do more skills than anyone in the pit.
How many times does he just run into players doing it?
Now he runs into players. But I was watching like some real highlight reel of Rashford the other day, and Rashford, when it comes to skills, he's got a lot in his bag, and I've seen him pull it off a few times as well. So
he needs to do it more in games then.
He needs to do it properly, at the right time.
Anthony, someone said.
No, what has he done? What the little spin that he does?
Garnacho's a shout, I suppose.
That was the other person I had on my list, to be fair.
Yeah.
Garnacho, but I just haven't seen.
A shout. Yeah. But no, I'd say Martial, but fair enough. Yeah. Rashford. Okay, next one is vision.
Vision. I put Bruno.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna put? Eriksen.
I went with Eriksen, but I could have gone with Bruno very easily.
I think it's Bruno. I think his vision kind of. This is gonna sound so dumb, yeah, but his vision actually kind of sets him back a little bit because I feel like he goes for everything he sees. You know what I mean? And like there's passes that like they're so risky, but because he sees it, he just goes for it straight away. And it's like, come on, you didn't have to actually make that pass there. Like, I get it, you saw it, and we're all like, cool, we're grateful that you can see that pass, but you didn't have to. When he pulls it off, it's crazy. Like, okay, cool, I rate you. But when he doesn't, it's like, why'd you make that pass? You didn't have to do it.
Outside of the foot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There was I think there was the last game. I think it was a Fulham game actually, where the ball's coming to midfield, and he's just straight away, just first time, just pinged it to Højlund. And Højlund's got tackled, and then the ball's come straight back out to him, and he just not pinged it, but like he tried to thread it straight away again, first time to Højlund again.
So he just needs to take some time, doesn't
yeah, it's like, I get it, you can see the pass, but sometimes you don't always have to be the assister. Sometimes you can play the first pass, like a hockey pass, and then we can get the assist or the goal or whatever. But I think Bruno, yeah, number one.
Okay, his vision's there, but maybe not always the execution.
Yeah.
But I would probably say Bruno, but also Eriksen as well. Like, Eriksen puts some balls through sometimes. That is very nice.
He puts it, I think it's just pin perfect where he puts it. So yeah, I would say it's a close 1 or 2.
It's a close one.
It's a close 1 or 2.
Okay, everyone in the chat was saying that as well. Next one is mentality.
This one actually doesn't make sense. I actually don't know why I put this, but I put Casemiro.
Okay.
Only because he's won a lot. But then it's like, how many red cards do you want to get? That to me is mentality. Like, to know. I get it, he came from another league, but that to me is a poor excuse anyway. Like, getting red cards over and over and over again isn't strong mentality, in my opinion. I think that's...
Well, why have you put him then?
Because of the whole Champions League thing and the fact that he's won so much. Like, he's such an experienced player. You have to be...
Someone said Sancho.
they're just trolling. Like, they're just trolling. But yeah, I think it was out of him and Varane. Just because, again, it's just the experience, like that is mentality at the end of the day. To be able to win so much over and over again, to go over seasons after season and carry on winning, that takes a lot of like strong mentality. So that's why I put Casemiro. But like I said, the red card thing it does annoy me a lot, because how many times do you want to get a red card before you actually like patting up?
I had 2 for mentality.
Okay.
Casemiro wasn't in there. Oh. I had Varane and Martinez.
Okay, for a reason.
But I had Varane for a similar reason that you went with Casemiro, the fact that the amount he's won. I feel like how level-headed he is, how much he used to tell the difference when he was in and out of our defence due to organisation and everything like that. I just think he's like a calm leader. And then I went with Martinez because I probably prefer Martinez's style of mentality, where how passionate he is, how strong he is, how he sets the example with the way he's so harsh into a challenge, lets players know he's there. And I think we've heard a lot behind the scenes that Martinez really impressed for his mentality at 24. So that's why I went with I probably would go with Varane if I had to, because of just maybe his stature, but I went with either Varane or Martinez, but that's what I went with.
I think there's some players that I want to give a little bit of mention to. I think, and this is going to sound mad again, Onana, I think he actually does have a good mentality.
Onana, yeah, that's another one. I was thinking about bringing him in, but I was like...
Just because of how he's played, it's like mentality, but you're playing terrible, it kind of don't add up.
But mentality to come back from that.
That's what I mean, that's what I was going to say. I think it's the coming back. There's a few players in the team that have come back from certain things. Like, for example, Luke Shaw, I think his mentality to come back from what he came, that injury. Yeah,
he's another one.
That's another one. I think Eriksen to come back from what he went through is another one as well. So there's a few players that on that element of mentality, being able to come back from like downfalls, injuries, whatnot, I think that kind of showed a lot for them as well.
Yeah, and Højlund looks like he has a good mentality so far, but obviously it's early days. Right, the last one is stamina.
I thought Bruno.
I put Bruno too.
It has to be Bruno. I see him run like for 100 minutes.
I don't think that guy would ever, like, if I had to pick someone to like run a marathon for me, and I had to be a footballer, not like an actual marathon. If I had to pick a footballer to run me a marathon, and if they did it in like the best time or whatever, I'd pick Bruno.
Facts. I think he covers so much ground, and it's like, it's the pressing. I always speak about how important pressing is, like, especially when you're an attacking player, to press from the front, and it's difficult. I get it. When you're an attacking player, it's very difficult because the ball's just going back and forth between the centre backs and the full backs. But Bruno's always running. He's one of the players where I don't ever see him just walking or whatever. Like sometimes
he's running too much. I'm like, why are you doing that?
Well, he's not tired though.
He's sprinting to something he shouldn't be sprinting to.
Yeah, I think him. I was thinking him or Højlund. I think Højlund runs a lot as well, in my opinion.
I saw this interview he did a bit ago, and he was saying how before a game, like, he drinks I think it's energy drinks and like this special milk that he has, and because he's so like awake after the game, no matter what time it is, even if it's a late game, when he gets home he watches the game back straight away because he's
Too much energy.
Too much energy.
That's a bit mad still.
So he obviously has his routines, but he's working for him. Touch wood, the guy never gets injured, and he's honestly constantly on it.
Yeah.
And you think, how old is he now? He's like 29. I think Bruno can go till like mid-30s.
I don't know. I mean, usually when players they run a lot, they kind of the career actually does end a bit earlier. Because you look at someone like Modric. Modric is mainly used for
Kante.
Because I mean, Kante, like his career is not done, but it's like it's a bit short. You know what I mean? But someone like Modric, he's not known for just running a lot. He's known for more of his technical ability. That's why he managed to play a lot longer because he's not having to do the legwork. I feel like the chat's just. What are you gonna say?
I'm not even saying what they're commenting on. I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
I'll tell you after the show. But they said, one of the people said maybe that's why he's on edge all the time when he's in the game because of the energy levels.
Fair enough.
And someone said, I actually think Bruno would be more effective. Russell said, I actually think Bruno would be more effective if he chilled out and stopped running so much. My dad used to say to me, Bruno, we love Bruno. But he said he looks like every game he's trying to beat his last sprint record from the game before.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, he's like, how many kilometres you've run?
Yeah.
Because obviously they all wear the thing, so they all know it.
Yeah, true.
But that's how he plays. But you can never criticise him for not trying.
No, I think that's probably one of the reasons why he's captain. Just because of the fact that you want to follow, you want to lead by example, and he does when it comes to. I wish I could see the super chat, but he does when it comes to running.
I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after. They're talking about the milk. I was saying Bruno drinks, but that's that one. Anyway, Mordz, before we go, I don't think we'll see you before the forum. Maybe are you back on tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think you're back here tomorrow, but okay. I was going to ask you for your score prediction for Everton, but we'll save it.
Yeah, we'll save it tomorrow.
We'll save it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always trying to fast forward because I want to fast forward to Sunday because I'm so bored of the international break. But
have we got one more game left for England?
Have we? I think that's it, isn't it? Or is it another one? I don't even know because I really just England with Southgate is just like depressing. Have you seen that video of Mark Gahey? And he just looks so like disinterested. And someone like tweeted it saying this is a guy who's managed by Hodgson and Southgate simultaneously. Love Roy Hodgson.
So much stress.
Love you, Roy Hodgson, but it must be a bit boring.
It's so boring.
But Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in to the afternoon show. Make sure you grab yourself a United Stand Christmas jumper. Let me get it so I can show it off in all its glory. I mean, what would you rate that out of 10?
10. 100%.
I would rate it a 12 personally.
Oh,
but yeah, make sure you go and grab yourself one of these. We've got limited stock available, so get it while it lasts so you can have it for Christmas. Also, the Christmas show links to tickets are available in the description. Will you be coming?
Yeah, definitely.
Of course you will. And all the United Stand crew will be there, so make sure you go and get it. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the afternoon show, and we'll see you on the next one.